Let's talk about Trey Songz and his accusations that have been stemming for a few years now with multiple women. Now, I made a post in the community tab because a woman has come forward. This was about a week ago now, came forward and she just had a story to tell about an incident that happened with Trey Songz. And when she did, once again, the doors are open for people to bring back up his past allegations and just it's always like something being said about him, then it gets quiet, then next thing you know something else is said about him. So it's been ongoing for a while now. And New York Magazine has a website called The Cut, and they did an article or story on Trey Songz. So I'm going to get into a little bit of that. I will leave the link to the actual article in my description box of this video if you would like to go read, because it is pretty lengthy. And I'm just going to go over some of the accusations that, has been going on since as far back as 2013, which is like damn near 10 years ago now. So let's take a look at that. But before I get into bits and pieces of the article, the woman that came forward about a week ago, she went on Twitter to talk about an incident that happened between her and Trey Songz. Now, this woman, her name it's either Rachel or Rachel, however you say it. This is a picture of her, and this is what she posted on her Twitter about what happened. So she says, they tried to Trey, I'm sorry, not they. She said, Trey tried to push up on me when I said no on the front end, too. And it wasn't typical catcalling that you get every day outside. And he isolated. Wait, Let me start this back because I just confused myself with reading this word for word. Hold on. Let me rewind back. Okay. She said, Trey tried to push up on me when I said no on the front end too. And it wasn't typical catcalling that you get every day outside and ish. He isolated me, forced himself on me, kissed me, and tried to put his hand in my mouth. They are not lying. She said, I never effed a celeb or been that girl to try to be in the mix. I actually was in LA for a movie I was casted in. I backed out eventually because the creative director was also weird. I sent Trey beats because I used to produce, and Trey and other artists asked me for a couple of beats. She said, we met off of those terms. I actually was in the studio while he recorded a song. That night, I came into LA to get my stills for my IMBD. He seen me in LA on my IG, tapped in. I got invited to an industry kickback. I made it clear before I even got there that we're platonic in business. And I'm not effing, he said. It's not like that at all. Everyone here just chilling. It's a kickback. I get there. It's him and a producer, two girls, dark, and he isolated me, tried to make out with me, and put his hand in my mouth. And we didn't F because one thing about me, I stick to my guns. So she goes on to say, but as far as women saying all this about how he's a weirdo, he is. I didn't say ish because people are so ignorant about victim blaming, but it's no way 60 girls should have to say a N is a predator before we start to be like, you know what? Maybe he's weird. That's sad. She says, I'm not traumatized by it. To be honest, this was more so to add validity to people still experiencing ish from him who are probably being doubted. I didn't let him pressure me, but I can see how girls not aggressive like me would because he's aggressive. And she said, after the fact, he got mad, he couldn't F and harassed me until I blocked him, and he's still blocked. So this woman went on Twitter saying this about a week ago, which caused people to furthermore talk about Trey Songz and his allegations. Now let's get into The Cut, the story that is written about him. Now, like I said, I had no idea. Actually, I said 2013, I meant 2012. Allegations dating back to at least 2012. We're talking 10 years now of things going on with him physically and sexually. Him being violent, and then all the allegations with these women. So you see what it says. It says Trey Songz has been accused of assault again. Now, it says in 2012, Songz allegedly struck a woman in the face at a strip club, the first of many reported physical assaults. So briefly, it says at a strip club in 2012, Songz allegedly struck a woman, Donna McIntosh Eno, in the face with a wad of cash, leaving her with a black eye. Songz was arrested and the case was settled out of court. A few years later, in 2016, Songz pled guilty to two misdemeanor counts for punching a Detroit police sergeant after a concert and throwing a microphone that injured a cameraman. Songz was sentenced to 18 months of probation and was required to attend anger management classes. Later, the officer and cameraman filed a lawsuit against Songz, citing injuries from the assault. It says the case is still ongoing. In 2021, Songz reportedly punched a police officer at a Kansas City Chiefs game, leading to yet another arrest. No criminal charges were filed after that altercation owing to insufficient evidence. That same year, he was sued for punching a bartender at a Cardi B concert. So, this is a record of him being physical assaults. Then let's get into the sexual allegations. So, back in 2013, it says a woman named Megan Johnson allegedly that Songz sexually assaulted her at a party in Connecticut in 2013. So a woman alleged that he sexually assaulted her at a party in 2013 in Connecticut. And it says in April of 2022 now, this woman came forward, a new accuser named Megan Johnson, came forward with allegations that Songz sexually assaulted her at a party in Connecticut in 2013. It says, according to a demand letter from Johnson's attorneys, who also represents Huara Jeffries and three more of Songz accusers, Johnson was in the VIP tent when Songz allegedly came up behind her, pulled her breast out of her bikini top without her consent, and chanted, "Boobies in the open." Attorneys for Johnson was supplied video footage of the incident, which has been obtained by TMZ, and claims Johnson suffered severe emotional distress in the aftermath, including engaging in self-harm. It says one woman may have been mistaken, but it's unlikely the 12 plus women that have made complaints against you, including our 4 clients, were mistaken. So at least 12 or more women have accused him of something. This is, like I said, this incident was in 2013, but she came forward in earlier this year. So now another story. It says an anonymous woman allegedly says that Songz anally R'd her in LA in 2016. Now, this is something else, right? So this says that on February 15th, an anonymous woman filed a civil lawsuit against Songz, accusing him of anally R'ing her at a house party in Los Angeles in 2016. According to the suit, the woman had a consensual relationship with Songz until the party, where he allegedly invited her upstairs to his bedroom and pressured her into anal sex. The suit says that the woman repeatedly refused Songz' requests and asked him to stop asking her, at which point Songz turned her into a savage R, pinning the woman to the ground, ripping off her pants, and anally R'ing her despite her screams and pleas for him to stop. Following the alleged incident, the suit says that the woman received a sexual assault exam where examiners concluded she suffered severe anal tearing. Now, the woman sought $20 million in damages, and representatives for Songz denied the allegations on his behalf. The suit was ultimately dismissed this year, and it says TMZ reported that the statute of limitations ran out on the allegations. So that's surprising. The statute of limitations ran out on the allegations, therefore, that lawsuit is dismissed after her having hospital proof, medical records of what happened. Because it got dismissed does not mean he didn't do it. And it doesn't mean that, oh, okay, he did not do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, because of the reason why the case was dismissed. So that's really, this is horrible. Like, I'm really surprised that more outlets, he hasn't, I don't even know what Trey Songz has officially, even if he's even been charged with anything when it comes to any of these allegations other than the physical ones. The so let's get into this one right here. Now, this in 2017, Keke Palmer, and we all know about this one, because Keke Palmer, I will never forget when she went on to the Breakfast Club and she told her story pretty much of what happened. And she was one of the first. She was actually, I think, the first woman that I've ever heard come forward saying anything regarding him in that manner. And ever since she did, she got a lot of backlash for that when she did speak out. And then it was like a domino effect after that. A lot of more women started coming forward. We started hearing other stories. So then it made people think like, oh, well, maybe, we believe Keke Palmer now, when I honestly believed her the first time I heard her. I did not. She had no reason to lie. I believed what she said. I believed her story. So for people to not believe it, and then once other women came forward, started believing it, it's like, I believed her from day one. I didn't need to hear another accusation to think that she was lying about that. So in 2017, Keke Palmer accused Songz of sexually intimidating her to appear in a music video, which, of course, Songz denied. Now, it says in 2017, Palmer accused Songz, with whom she had been friendly for some years, of using sexual intimidation to persuade her to appear in a music video that she didn't want to be in. He proceeded to use a recorded clip of Palmer in his Pick Up the Phone music video without her consent. At the time, Palmer described being so afraid of Songz that she hid in a closet to get away from him. Songz denied her allegations, and then he wrote or tweeted or whatever and said, "Baby girl bugging." And I remember when he did reply and say that, just denying it. So that was, like she said, that was sexual intimidation, trying to intimidate her, not necessarily putting his hands on her, or you get what I'm saying? Like, this was different, but it still falls under this whole same umbrella of sexual assault. So now we have 2018, and a woman named Andrea Buera, if I'm saying that right, says she alleged Songz choked her at his LA home in 2018. Now, this says a year after Keke came forward, Songz was arrested at his LA home for felony domestic violence against a woman named Andrea Buera. She alleged that Songz choked her, punched her in the face, and knocked her down, and she expressed hopes that Songz would get help for his violent tendencies. She said, "Although I am not your first victim," she said in a press conference, "I'd like to be your last." And then Songz denied her account, saying that he'd been lied on and falsely accused for someone's personal gains. Los Angeles City and district officials declined to pursue the case after Song's legal team reportedly supplied witness statements and information to the LAPD that apparently contradicted Buera's account, according to TMZ. The case was dropped and Buera withdrew the complaint she had filed. So the case was dropped, but this is still an accusation. This is a part of the article, as far as one of the women coming forward with a story, a statement, an accusation against Trey Songz. Now, this one in 2018, it's a 2018 lawsuit. A woman named Jahara Jeffries accused Songz of attempting to digitally penetrate her at a Miami nightclub. It says, back in 2018, a woman named Jahara Jeffries accused Songz of attempting to penetrate her, Vijay, with his fingers without her consent at a Miami nightclub. Jeffries, who originally filed her suit as a Jane Doe, also claimed another woman at the club confided in her, saying Songz had also slid a hand down her pants and groped her buttocks without her consent. Songz and Jeffries appeared to have reached a $10 million settlement in 2021, but a judge suddenly dismissed the suit later that year. Jeffries then refiled it and is now seeking $20 million in damages. Song's representatives are trying to get Jeffries' lawsuit dismissed again and have alleged that one of her lawyers, named Ariel Mitchell, has been tampering with the case by bribing witnesses. So this is a lot with his lawsuits, the ones that have been dismissed, the way they've been dismissed. It's just this is a lot. So it seems like he has been getting off on all of these charges so far. And, I don't know how this is possible. So it says another story. It says a Las Vegas sexual assault investigation into Songz was opened in 2021 and dropped a year later. It says in November 2021, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department launched an investigation into Songz over an alleged incident of sexual assault at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. It says Las Vegas police dropped the investigation in April 2022 without pursuing charges, but said the investigation could be reopened with new evidence. It's the same with him, story after story. Donna McIntosh and No said in an interview with the Daily Beast shortly after the investigation opened. The women get knocked down. He's not being held accountable at all. And from what I've been reading off to you guys, I don't see him being accountable either. I see the accusations, the lawsuits and everything, and it ends up he gets away. He doesn't get charged with anything. Something happens within the case and it gets dismissed, dropped, not meeting the statute of limitations or whatever, and then that's it. Like, it's dismissed, it's gone. Now, we remember this girl. Well, I know I do because she was one of the women that came forward earlier this year, named Dylan Gonzalez. She was another one, just like the other girl, Rachel, that went on, Twitter talking about it. She did the same thing too. She went on Twitter talking about what happened. So in 2022, Dylan Gonzalez revealed that she experiences unbearable PTSD from Songz allegedly R-ing her at a Las Vegas hotel. Now, it says following her tweet, WNBA player, she's a WNBA player, Dylan Gonzalez shared her support for fellow survivors and shared details of her alleged assault by Songz in a January 22 Instagram post. She said, with what seems like endlessly reoccurring news of the alleged sexual assaults committed by Trey Songz, I am forced to repeatedly relive in my mind and suffer anew the long suppressed horror and unbearable PTSD of my R by his very hands at a well-known Las Vegas hotel, she wrote, also encouraging other victims to step forward. So she came forward with this story as well, made a post talking about it and made its way around social media. Everyone was talking about it. And as far as what happened with her case, I don't know if it's still pending, what's going on, but up until this new girl, Rachel, came forward, this, I believe, was the last girl that I heard of as far as coming forward with allegations towards him. And I don't know how her case has ended, if it's still ongoing or whatever the case may be. But I definitely remember when she came out speaking about everything. So now this last piece of this article, or at least this part of the allegations, this says an anonymous bowling alley worker in New York says that Songz physically attacked her in a bathroom. So this is recent. TMZ, of course, they get their hands on everything. They reported it. Let me just, so it says last month, an anonymous bowling alley worker in New York filed a police report alleging that Songz physically assaulted her in the establishment's bathroom. Per TMZ, the worker says Songz punched her repeatedly in the face and dragged her across the floor by her hair before she was taken to the hospital for what authorities said were visible minor injuries. The outlet reports that the woman recognized Songz and identified him to authorities, and a spokesperson from the NYPD said that an investigation is very ongoing. So this right here, so this woman says he punched her repeatedly in the face, dragged her across the floor by her hair, and she went to the hospital and had injuries. The investigation is very ongoing. So it's a mix of very violent physical behavior and then the alleged sexual assault. So it's like I can't believe that um this is happening with Trey Songz. And it's been happening. It's not just one woman. It's so many women now with some sort of story to tell, whether they win their lawsuit, whatever the case may be, what they're saying and claiming happened is, I don't think all of these women are lying. I didn't think Keke Palmer was lying. And this is before all these other women started coming forward and we started hearing about all of these accusations. I believed her before all of that. So it's just real. He has issues, you know? Like, I don't know what's going to come from any of these lawsuits, but this is very disturbing. So, what's going to happen with Trey Songz? I will definitely stay on top of it and see what comes forward, who says what about him, what other articles there are. The link to this article will be in the description if you want to go just look at the whole story on this, and leave a comment about what I just went over. Let me know what you think about Trey Songz and his accusations. Please like this video. Thank you for listening to this video. Subscribe to my channel, everyone, and I'll talk to all you again soon.